Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The Lincoln penny has always carried with it a piece of American history, but the 1961 edition has a special place in the hearts of collectors. At first glance, it may appear to be just another small copper coin, but in truth, this penny hides stories of rarity and incredible value. By 1961, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for over half a century. First introduced in 1909, this iconic coin had become one of the most recognized symbols of American coinage. It was trusted, familiar, and deeply rooted in everyday life. The obverse side of the 1961 penny still carries Victor David Brenner's legendary portrait of Abraham Lincoln. His stern yet kind profile captured the strength and dignity of a president who guided the nation through its most difficult trial, the Civil War. On the reverse side, collectors find Frank Gasparo's design of the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat ears design in 1959. This made the 1961 penny one of the earlier years to feature this new memorial reverse, adding to its historical significance. The Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint were responsible for striking billions of these coins in 1961. Those from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while the Denver issues display the small d beneath the date. While billions were produced, not every penny is created equal. It is within certain varieties, minting errors, and superbly preserved examples that true treasures are found. The 1961 penny is still made of 95% copper, a composition that gives it a richness in color and weight compared to later zinc pennies. This traditional metal content appeals strongly to collectors who cherish the old-style feel of pre-1982 cents. Over time, many 1961 pennies have worn down from decades of circulation. But finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a challenge. These brilliant examples reflect light in a way that makes them appear almost freshly struck. Some of the most sought after 1961 pennies are those with errors. A doubled die, for example, shows doubling in the numbers of the date or in the lettering of the coin. These striking anomalies were created by mistakes during the minting process and are highly collectible. Other errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. Each mistake turns what should have been a common coin into a unique collectible worth far more than face value. The thrill of searching through pocket change or old collections in hopes of discovering one of these rare 1961 varieties excites collectors of all ages. It is this thrill that fuels the passion behind coin collecting. In the world of numismatics, condition is king. A penny from 1961 that has been carefully preserved and graded by professional services can achieve astonishing results at auctions. Many collectors focus on finding coins graded at the highest levels, such as mint state 65 or higher. At these grades, every detail of Lincoln's portrait and the memorial building stands out sharply. The demand for such high-quality examples keeps driving their values upward. When competition among collectors grows, prices can soar beyond expectations. Beyond its rarity, the 1961 penny carries cultural and historical weight. It circulated during an era of great change in America, an age marked by the presidency of John F. Kennedy and the beginnings of a new hopeful decade. Each penny minted in 1961 is more than just copper. It is a tiny witness to a year that helped shape modern America. When a coin combines rarity, condition, and historical meaning, it transcends its role as currency and becomes a cherished collectible. That is precisely the case with the Lincoln penny from 1961. Auction houses and coin shows often showcase examples of these coins, drawing attention from collectors eager to add one to their collection. The legacy of Abraham Lincoln plays a powerful role in the popularity of this coin as well. Lincoln's face on the penny is a constant reminder of leadership, unity, and sacrifice. Collectors know that owning a 1961 penny in extraordinary condition is like holding a piece of art and history combined. It connects the present with the past in a tangible way. The memorial reverse also adds a symbolic touch. Looking closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. Over 6 decades later, the 1961 penny still finds its way into coin rolls and collections, sparking excitement whenever a rare variety is discovered. This small copper coin teaches us that sometimes the most ordinary objects hide extraordinary value. Every time a collector uncovers a pristine or rare example, they are reminded of the magic hidden in plain sight. That it is this mystery and possibility that makes coin collecting one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. The 1961 Lincoln penny has earned its place in the spotlight because of the beauty of its design, the legacy of its subject, and the rarity of its most exceptional examples. Even though billions were made, it is the few rare treasures that turn heads and capture attention. For those fortunate enough to find one, the rewards can be absolutely life-changing, and in its rarest and most perfect form, the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1961 has reached the remarkable value of $195,000. Top 2. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history, and among its many issues, the 1963 edition has developed a reputation that excites coin collectors around the world. At first glance, this penny might seem ordinary, but beneath its copper surface lies a story of rarity, history, and astonishing value. By 1963, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for more than 50 years. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the coin quickly became a symbol of American resilience and pride. The 1963 penny belongs to this continuing legacy, carrying forward a design that had already become deeply beloved. On the obverse side of the coin, you will find Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. His profile radiates dignity, strength, and leadership, qualities that represent his guiding role during the nation's most difficult chapter, the Civil War. The reverse design of the 1963 penny features the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. Introduced just a few years earlier in 1959, this design replaced the wheat ears and brought a new level of symbolism to the coin. Look closely, and you can even see the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a breathtaking detail for such a small surface. The Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint were the two facilities that produced the 1963 Lincoln cents. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while those struck in Denver display the familiar D below the date. Each carries its own place in the world of numismatics. While hundreds of millions were produced that year, not all pennies are the same. The true excitement comes from discovering rare varieties, error coins, and those in flawless mint condition. One of the most famous aspects of the 1963 penny is its composition. It was still struck in 95% copper, a quality that gives it weight, color, and beauty unlike the later zinc cents that were introduced in 1982. Collectors cherish these older copper coins for their richness and durability. Circulated examples of the 1963 penny are easy to find. However, coins that have never been spent and remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are much rarer. These gems shine brilliantly and reveal every tiny detail of the coin's artistry. Error coins from 1963 can also be extremely valuable. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks are among the most desirable varieties. Each error makes the coin unique, and uniqueness translates into higher demand and greater value. Collectors are always on the lookout for pennies with bold doubling in the date or lettering. When these coins are authenticated, they become treasures that stand apart from the common coins of that year. Condition is everything in coin collecting, and the 1963 penny is no exception. Professional grading services carefully examine coins under magnification to determine their grade. From circulated examples to mint state perfection, those pennies graded at the highest levels, such as mint state 65 and above, command extraordinary attention. The sharper the details and the stronger the luster, the more collectors are willing to pay. This is why finding a 1963 penny in superb condition can lead to astonishing results at auctions. It is not just about owning a coin, it is about owning a piece of history preserved in time. The 1963 penny also carries cultural importance. It was minted during a year filled with promise and change in America, just months before the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. That year remains a powerful symbol in American memory. Holding a 1963 penny is like holding a relic from that time. It is a reminder of both the optimism and challenges that defined that era in U.S. history. The Lincoln Memorial reverse also deepens the symbolism of this coin. Not only does it honor one of the most iconic structures in Washington, D.C., but it also represents the ideals of freedom, equality, and unity. Over time, coins like these become far more than just pocket change. They turn into artifacts, treasured by collectors and admired by historians for what they represent. Every rare or valuable 1963 penny found today tells us that even the smallest objects can carry remarkable significance. At coin shows and auctions, when a rare 1963 penny in flawless condition comes up for bidding, the excitement in the room is undeniable. Collectors recognize the rarity, and competition drives the prices to incredible heights. It is this combination of artistry, rarity, and history that makes the 1963 Lincoln penny a legend in its own right. Even though billions were made, only a handful stand out as truly exceptional. These are the coins that spark wonder, curiosity, and admiration. When you look at a 1963 penny in your hand, it may appear like any other cent. But in the right condition, it could hold a value beyond imagination. That is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating journey, the thrill of discovering something extraordinary in what seems ordinary. Collectors who own one of these high-grade or rare variety pennies know they are holding something special, something that connects them directly to history, the beauty of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, the detail of the memorial, and the pure copper composition combined to make this coin unforgettable. As years pass, the rarity and desirability of these coins continue to grow, cementing their status among America's most fascinating collectibles. The 1963 penny is a symbol of endurance, a small but mighty piece of art that continues to surprise and inspire those who seek it out. For the lucky few who find one in pristine or rare error form, the financial reward can be astonishing. And in its rarest, most exceptional form, the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1963 has reached the breathtaking value of $180,000. Top 3. The Lincoln 1-cent penny has long been one of the most collected and admired coins in the history of the United States. Among the many years of its production, the 1967 edition stands out as an issue filled with both history and fascination, making it an unforgettable piece for collectors everywhere. When we look back to 1967, the country was in the midst of change. The decade was marked by political movements, cultural shifts, and technological progress. Coins from this period are like tiny time capsules, carrying within them the spirit of the era. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades by that year. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design had become a symbol of American strength and pride. The obverse of the 1967 penny still featured the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. His face, immortalized in copper, was a reminder of his enduring legacy as one of America's most important leaders. On the reverse side, collectors would see the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that had only recently replaced the original wheat ears design in 1959. This modernized look gave the coin a renewed identity while honoring Lincoln in a different way. The detail of the Lincoln Memorial is extraordinary, and it even includes the tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln sitting inside. This small but powerful detail is one of the features that makes the design so admired. Unlike most other years, the 1967 Lincoln cent is especially unique because it was struck during a time of experimentation in U.S. coinage. Due to the Coinage Act of 1965, mint marks were temporarily omitted to discourage hoarding, meaning number 1967 pennies carry a mint mark. This lack of mint marks adds a layer of mystery to the coin, since collectors cannot immediately tell whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. All are indistinguishable, making every 1967 penny part of this unusual chapter in U.S. mint history. The coin's composition is another fascinating feature. Struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these coins hold the warm reddish tone that collectors love, a quality later lost when pennies changed to mostly zinc in 1982. Billions of 1967 pennies were produced, and because of that, many people assume they have little to no value. However, what makes this coin extraordinary is the small number of rare examples in outstanding condition or with remarkable errors. Error coins are among the most exciting discoveries for collectors. A double die in the date or lettering, an off-center strike, or unusual planchet flaws can transform a simple penny into a true treasure. Even without errors, high-grade 1967 pennies can attract significant attention. A coin that has been preserved in pristine condition, with its original luster intact and no marks from circulation, becomes highly desirable. Professional grading services evaluate these coins carefully, assigning them a grade that reflects their sharpness, shine, and overall eye appeal. Those graded at mint state 65 or higher are especially sought after. When such coins appear at auctions, the bidding can be intense. Collectors know how difficult it is to find a 1967 penny that has survived more than half a century without any flaws. This is why coin collecting is so exciting, because even a simple penny from a common year can hold surprises when preserved in the right condition. The historical context also adds to the appeal. In 1967, the United States was experiencing both great achievements and turbulent times, and this coin is a direct link to that remarkable year. Holding a 1967 penny allows us to connect with that era, remembering the cultural shifts, political events, and everyday lives of people who once used these very coins in their daily transactions. Each coin tells a story. And the 1967 penny's story is filled with mystery and significance due to the absence of mint marks and the historical decisions that shaped it. Collectors also admire this penny because it bridges the past and future of U.S. coinage. It still carries the beauty of the copper composition while reflecting a unique moment in minting history. The Lincoln design has lasted longer than any other on U.S. coinage, and coins like the 1967 penny show why. They are timeless, instantly recognizable, and forever tied to the American identity. Over the years, collectors have shared stories of rare finds, often discovering coins in old rolls or tucked away in jars, suddenly realizing their incredible worth. For those who love the thrill of the hunt, the 1967 penny is an exciting piece to look for, because among the ordinary examples, there are extraordinary ones waiting to be discovered. The combination of historical context, design beauty, copper composition, and rare varieties makes this coin a highlight of mid-20th century numismatics. Every time a collector holds a 1967 penny, they are reminded that treasures can come in the smallest forms. The journey from a simple coin in circulation to a high-value collectible is what gives this penny its charm. And it is this journey that transforms the 1967 penny from everyday change into a rare collectible that tells the story of America. Coin shows and auctions continue to prove that these rare examples command incredible prices, stunning those who see such a small coin valued so highly. For the lucky few who own a rare, high-grade specimen, the rewards are both sentimental and financial, and in its rarest and most valuable form, the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1967 has been valued at $160,000. Top 4. The Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in the history of the United States, and the year 1975 adds a layer of fascination that continues to captivate coin collectors even today. When we talk about the 1975 penny, we're talking about a coin that was born during a decade filled with cultural changes, economic shifts, and historic events that left a lasting impression on the nation. By 1975, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for more than 6 decades, and it had become a trusted part of everyday American life, passed from hand to hand in millions of daily transactions. The obverse of the coin proudly carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a portrait that has endured since its first appearance in 1909. His face on the coin is not just a design but a tribute to his enduring legacy. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln portrait on the penny has stood the test of time, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse side of the 1975 penny, collectors find the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo introduced in 1959, which replaced the wheat ears design of earlier pennies. The Lincoln Memorial design is admired for its fine detail, even including a small depiction of the statue of Lincoln seated inside, a feature that still amazes collectors when they look closely with a magnifying glass. Struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, the 1975 penny has that distinctive reddish-brown tone that makes older copper pennies so appealing, especially in well-preserved condition. Billions of these pennies were produced, and at first glance, it might seem like they are all common. But as every collector knows, the real magic is in the details. What sets the 1975 penny apart are those rare examples that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition or carry unique minting errors that elevate them into treasures. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or striking on defective planchets can instantly transform a common penny into a rare collectible worth thousands of dollars. Collectors spend years searching rolls of coins, hoping to discover one of these elusive Error varieties that bring a thrill unmatched by ordinary finds. Even without errors, the condition of the 1975 penny can make all the difference. A coin preserved in perfect mint state, with its luster shining as if it were freshly struck, can achieve incredible values. Grading services carefully examine these coins, giving them scores that reflect their beauty, sharpness, and originality. Coins graded in the higher mint state categories are considered the crown jewels of a collection. It's the hunt for these top-quality coins that keeps collectors excited. The 1975 penny may be small, but when found in rare condition, it becomes a giant in the world of numismatics. This year is also interesting because it comes just before America's bicentennial in 1976, making coins from this time particularly nostalgic for many collectors who remember the patriotic spirit of the era. The penny's place in American history cannot be overstated. While it is the lowest denomination, it carries the highest recognition because nearly everyone has held one. In 1975, a penny could buy very little, but its symbolic value was immense. Today, it carries a completely different worth when preserved as a collector's prize. Each 1975 penny carries with it not just copper but also the story of the people who once used it, the economy of the time, and the cultural heartbeat of the mid-1970s. Collectors know that coins are not just currency, they are history in metal form. The 1975 penny is no exception, holding within it a snapshot of its time. Some of the most valuable 1975 pennies are those struck with dramatic doubling in the date or lettering, where the numbers seem to appear twice, a fascinating error that is treasured. Others may be struck off center, where part of the design is missing, making each error coin unique and one of a kind. When coins like this appear at auctions, they create excitement and bidding wars, as collectors understand just how rare. These examples are, the ordinary 1975 penny may not draw much attention, but in exceptional condition or with errors, it can become a showpiece worth far more than its face value. That is the joy of coin collecting, discovering the extraordinary hidden within what most people overlook as ordinary change. Over the years, stories have emerged of collectors finding valuable 1975 pennies tucked away in jars, boxes, or inherited collections, only to realize later they were holding something truly special. It is this mystery, this sense of discovery, that makes the world of coins so thrilling. A small copper coin can turn into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, and for the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny, in its rarest and most exceptional form, its value has been recorded at $135,000. Top 5. The Lincoln 1-cent penny of 1982 is one of the most fascinating coins ever produced by the United States Mint, not only because of its design but also because of the many varieties and unique stories attached to it. This was a year of great change for the penny, a turning point that would separate it from its long history of being made primarily of copper. For collectors, 1982 is one of those magic years that demand special attention. Since 1909, the penny had been struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown color that collectors admire. But rising copper prices forced the mint to take action in the early 1980s. By 1982, the cost of producing each penny was dangerously close to exceeding its face value. This meant the U.S. Mint had to look for a cheaper alternative to keep making the beloved Lincoln cent. The solution was to change the composition of the penny mid-year, replacing the heavy copper planchets with a lighter zinc core coated in copper. This decision created one of the most interesting years in the history of the Lincoln cent. In 1982, the mint produced both types, traditional copper pennies and the new copper-plated zinc pennies. This dual production makes 1982 a landmark year in the world of American coinage. Collectors find this year particularly exciting because there are 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny, split between small date and large date designs, across both copper and zinc. The large date pennies feature bold, wider numerals in the year, while the small date versions have slimmer numbers, especially noticeable in the number 2. These subtle differences fascinate collectors who study them closely. Another reason the 1982 penny is special is the weight. A copper penny from that year weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs only 2.5 grams. This makes it easy for collectors to distinguish between the two using a simple scale. The challenge of identifying and collecting each of the 1982 varieties makes it a thrilling adventure for anyone passionate about coins. Owning a full set of these variations is considered a rewarding achievement. Over the years, some rare error coins from 1982 have also appeared, including transitional errors where the wrong planchet was used, creating coins that should not exist but slipped through the minting process. These transitional errors are among the most sought after by collectors because they highlight the confusion and adjustments happening at the mint during this critical year of change. The Lincoln portrait on the obverse remained the same classic design by Victor David Brenner, just as it had been since 1909, a familiar face to every American. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial continued to grace the coin, complete with the tiny figure of Lincoln seated inside, visible under magnification. While the design looked familiar, what was inside the coin had changed forever, making the 1982 penny a symbolic dividing line in the history of U.S. coinage. Many people in 1982 had no idea their pocket change included both heavy copper coins and lighter zinc coins. To the average person, they looked the same, but to collectors, these differences meant everything. The fact that both compositions circulated side by side adds to the charm of the 1982 penny. It tells the story of a nation adapting to economic pressures while keeping tradition alive. What makes the 1982 penny even more thrilling is that some examples in flawless, uncirculated condition have survived the decades, their luster as bright as the day they left the mint. Grading services award the highest mint state ratings to these coins, and it is these top-graded examples that command the most attention and value in the marketplace. Collectors worldwide chase after these coins, knowing that the 1982 penny is not just another cent but a piece of American history frozen in metal. The dual composition and the multiple varieties make this coin an essential part of any serious Lincoln cent collection. No complete set feels whole without it. The 1982 penny continues to appear at auctions, and when rare error varieties or near-perfect examples show up, they generate excitement and high bids. This coin also serves as a reminder that sometimes the smallest details, like a date style or the metal inside, can mean the difference between ordinary change and a treasure worth thousands. For many collectors, the joy of the 1982 penny is in the hunt. Searching through rolls of coins or inherited jars of pennies could reveal a rare variety or even an error hiding in plain sight. The anticipation of finding a coin from this transitional year keeps collectors searching, driven by the hope that one day they'll uncover a valuable example. The history, the variety, the errors, and the significance of the year all combine to make the 1982 penny one of the most collectible coins of modern U.S. coinage. It's a coin that tells a story of change, adaptation, and hidden value, proving that even the smallest denomination can carry immense historical importance. So when you hold a 1982 penny in your hand, remember that it represents not just a cent, but a year of transformation and possibility in American coinage. And for the rarest and most exceptional examples of the Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1982, the value has been recorded at $90,000.